All right, and we are live. Yo, yo, yo. Tell me what you know. Welcome to the Sunshine Show. Woo! We are back once at it again, and in base week with a real charm, a real special treat for you wherever in the world you may roam this morning, this afternoon, this evening. Because, yes, the Sunshine Show is worldwide, everybody. Worldwide, worldwide, worldwide. I have the one and only, the most amazing, the most fabulous, the most phenomenal, the most fantastic, the most Bowie of them all. I have Aly of Flummox in the building. What's up,
What's
Aly?
up?
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. It's been busy, but it's been really good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good now that the rains have subsided. I am here in Santa Cruz, so we've had a pretty crazy past couple of months, but the sun is shining and all is good. I couldn't ask
Hell yeah.
anything more. So I see you are dressed for the occasion, Aly, wearing your green.
It was a complete accident, I swear. I was just like, this looks cute.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Do you have
I
any
mean, he did kind of help commit genocide, but let's drink.
hats off? I got my diet sun kissed, and it looks like you're drinking Mountain Dew over there. Very reminiscent of Zappa. All right. I know that Zappa is one of your favorite influences. Is that still ring true?
Oh yeah, that hasn't changed at all. Yeah, that's absolutely still the case. Still very much, I put it on his albums every now and again all the time, and I don't really go too long without listening to Frank.
Very nice. All right, Aly, I want you to give everybody at home listening on the podcast, tuning in live, give us a brief introduction for those who may not know who you are.
I am four opossums in a human suit, collectively known as Allison Dellinger, or Aly, if you know me. I noodle around on a bass guitar and screech for a band called Flummox, and sometimes you can see me playing bass for all kinds of little random things going on around Nashville. And I'm also the creature that puts all of the toys and candy into all of the crane machines throughout all of Middle Tennessee. That's me. Anyway, I think that's about sums it up.
Beautiful introduction, Aly. This is the second time you've been on the show. I cannot wait to catch up. You have been all over the place, dropping albums, going on tour, doing the damn thing, wearing your possum mask like you do so very well.
It's not a mask.
Oh, there we go. Not a mask. Real deal. I want you to tell me about the last tour that you were on because it looked like it was pretty amazing.
Well, we haven't done like a full-fledged tour since I guess last summer. We've done some like weekenders and dates and stuff here and there since then, but yeah, the one we did over the summer went really, really well, and it went like we basically just we finally got to play in New York, and went up and down the East Coast and that sort of thing. So yeah, like it went absolutely well. Nothing, although like the van actually broke down like the first day, but we managed to get it fixed and somehow managed to swing in and still be able to play the gig, not an hour before we were supposed to be on stage. So it was very like, it was a whole thing, but we're about to do it all again, about to go back on tour here in a week from today, actually.
There we go. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. All right, let's talk about this upcoming tour then. Did somebody book it for you or are you booking for yourself? How's it working?
We recently got with Tone Deaf Touring, and they represent quite a lot of artists that we certainly vibe with, and that's been going really well. We're about to go on like I said, we're about to start a tour next Friday in Lafayette, Indiana, and that's I think it's a 10-day tour. Where we're just kind of making a little circle through the Midwest and down south and back up again. But then there's going to be a lot more touring from us this year. Like we've already booked most of a summer tour with Tone Deaf, and We're also trying to hit the Pacific Northwest by the end of the year as well. Trying to get on the West Coast. Maybe I'll actually get to hang out with you in the flesh. And like just that kind of stuff. We also just finished recording the rhythm tracks for the next album, so we're busy. Or still making records while like getting all these tour plans, because we're still like supporting the album we put out last year, Reflummoxed, out on Needle Juice Records. And it's gone pretty well so far. Reception's been pretty good, and honestly though, with this next one, like it's gonna blow it out of the water, I think, but that's fine.
Oh, y'all are gonna have to stay tuned for that. So excited. Let's see, my mama is here in the chat and she says, let's talk about that candy. Okay, Mom, could you expand a little bit more on that? Because I'm not really sure where we're going with that. But let me see. My favorite candy is, I'm gonna have to go with either Skittles or Sour Patch Kids. Do you have a favorite candy, Aly?
Favorite candy? Well, it really depends. Like I'm actually really keen on Tootsie Rolls. A lot of people aren't for some reason, but I think it's just because like that was like what my great grandmother used to have around the house, and it just, yeah, I know it's very nostalgic for me anytime I have Tootsie Rolls. But yeah, I like little chocolates, like little Three Musketeers and Reese's, like the Reese's, like with the Reese's Pieces inside of them. That's like, that shit's dangerous. It's they're so good. But yeah, that I think that's where I'm at with the candy.
At the next Flummox show, everybody's just going to be throwing Tootsie Rolls at Aly. All right, watch out. She may jump off stage and get you. I want to talk a little bit about your stage show, all right? It looks like you're having a lot of fun up there. For people that may not know what your stage show is like, can you describe it to us?
It's eclectic, that's for sure. It's very artsy, very, very, very. I guess you could say performance art, shock rockish kind of. I don't know. Like we don't like spit blood or anything necessarily. We're a little bit more nonsensical than that. I mean, our whole deal came from a Dr. Seuss book, really. So, we got to keep it kind of silly. Sometimes I take on the form of an opossum and I throw myself into the trash cans of the venues. Sometimes I have an infant sacrifice on stage with a baby doll that's just full of candy that I then distribute. Not Reese's though; it's just gummy worms that I pull out of. Yeah, that's how it is. That's like, and of course, there's just like we're in general, like, we're definitely not like I wouldn't say we're a gimmick band, because we definitely try to do different. Like, one of my rules is we never play the same set twice.
Okay.
And I don't even necessarily mean that in like the traditional sense of, oh, and you never play the song the same way. No. Like, if we played these songs yesterday, at least 2 or 3 of those songs we're not going to play the next time, and then we just kind of swap them out. We swap out all kinds of things. We come up with bits and like random cover ideas sometimes, like, right before we're about to hit the stage, and just kind of act it out on, like kind of improvise it. And yeah, like we're just very, we take the music seriously. We take it, as the first priority, but it's definitely something where we take the music later and go, okay, so what dumb shit can we do while we're playing this part of the song?
And how did you come up with these ideas? I guess they randomly just pop into your head, or are you like getting them from like movie scenes, or like what is the deal with the opossum?
It's a little bit of everything you may have just mentioned, because like sometimes, I mean, like, for instance, the baby bit that I mentioned earlier, we just kind of we pulled that. A, we stole it from Alice Cooper, and B, we just kind of made it sillier and more like it ties into the song, because the song is called Black Phillip, which is from this movie, actually, The Witch. And if you haven't seen it, it makes sense. It just trust me. But And with the possum on the other hand, so I've always, since I was like a young kid, had sort of a hyperfixation on opossums. And like it's just for years, after like I had been playing in bands, I'd started Flummox, we always talked about doing some kind of possum song of some kind. And when we finally put one together, we just started, well, what if in the middle of the song I do this, or I do that? And like, cause used to, like, it wasn't even nearly as elaborate as it is now. So a lot of the times, like, these little ideas that we have just get expounded upon over and over and over again until, um, the bit itself is almost like completely different from the way it started off in the first place. And, so, like sometimes it's just like brainstorming. There's a couple new songs that we're working on right now that have, bits that we haven't actually had the chance to perform live yet, until tomorrow at least. But there's a, just so, because like I've been throwing myself into trash cans and killing babies for years now. I need something new. I'm tired of the old mundane infant sacrifices. And
Oh my God. To anybody who is just tuning in, I guess you'll just have to watch again to see exactly what we're talking about. All right. So do you practice these gimmicks before actually going on stage, or is this something that it's all just gonna come to fruition tomorrow?
Also kind of a yes and no sort of deal, because really, a lot of it really depends on the musicianship in the band, because if they're not holding like that background piece together, because they are musically reacting to whatever it is I might be doing. For example, while I'm sacrificing the baby with the ritual knife, their instruments are stabbing along with with me in that motion. The drums, it's like psh, psh, like it's all kind of synced together. We're all kind of linked in that way. So usually if it's a bit that we haven't really figured out completely, I'm just like, okay, that part of the song that does this, keep that going, and I'm gonna like do this during that part, and then when I do this, you go back to the next part or something of that ilk. Or we just like take existing things that we already do and go, okay, so when I usually say this, well, I'm gonna say this instead, and it's gonna mean the same thing. Just things like that. But when it comes to like, okay, here's a whole new piece of bullshit. Yes, wait, like I have absolutely had my bandmates and myself like in our little storage unit practice space, basically like doing like theater. To the best of their abilities, and to the scope of the room, I guess will allow. Because a lot of it does take a lot of practice, but a lot of it also hinges on the fact that everybody in my band is really, really tight. They're like, I'm blessed to have like the best band in the world in my mind, as far as like what I need, like in to, I guess, pull off some of the shit that I decide to throw at them.
Yeah.
Those poor guys.
Sounds pretty intense.
Yes, it can be. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it without them, and luckily they're receptive, because I've certainly been in bands with people that were like, you want us to do what? It's like, come on, it'll be funny.
Oh my goodness. It sounds amazing. I cannot wait to catch a show live. Let's see, we got Dimitri in the comments. What's up, Dimitri? Thanks for hanging out. Question: what is your favorite key to play? Dimitri, this is your favorite question to ask, and I love it. Aly, do you have a favorite key to play in?
Oh goodness. I mean, I'm really partial to playing. I don't know if I have like a favorite key. Like, there's not necessarily a key that I always like fall back on, or it's like I hear it in a song and I go, that's my very favorite key. But I do tend to like, especially when it comes to like writing things, I like to lean into like a C tuning, like all the way down. So like C would probably be like C minor would probably, like the C minor scale probably. I just simply because I use it in a lot of stuff. But that's just me. That's a really interesting question. What about you? What's your favorite key?
I'm not really sure my favorite key, but I could tell you what Bob Marley's favorite key to play in was. And I believe that is a big fat A, because most of the songs that I have learned by Bob Marley is in A. I don't know. Google it and figure out whether that's right or not. I don't know. It just kind of popped into my head. What's up, Brittany Latimer in the house? We got Jake Hernandez out of San Antonio, Texas. We got Mama Cantu out of South Texas. What's up? We got Paul Tar from Colorado, Matt Duran from Arizona. Thank you guys all for hanging out with me and Aly. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, drop them there in the chat. We are live and direct for Bass Week. Could not think of a better way to end Bass Week than with this amazing front woman right here. All right, Aly, I want you to talk to me a little bit about your writing style.
Well, it's varied because, like, frankly, a lot of songs that I write, I don't typically write on the bass. I'll pick it out on like an acoustic guitar or piano or something like that, just to get like some of the basic kind of chord shapes and stuff down. And then I'll hand it off to musicians that are better at those instruments than I am, to embellish upon it. But a lot of the times, yeah, like sometimes I'll write like a whole song, just bam. Other times I'll only write part of something, and then kind of want to collaborate with somebody else in the band. But a lot of the stuff that I end up writing on bass though is usually just like, because that's definitely the most proficient instrument for me, that I'm like the most proficient at. And so I can come up with some cool stuff that I, again, will, kind of bounce off the band and let them kind of do their whole thing. Because like Flummox is very collaborative. Like I sort of play the role of the ringleader, but like frankly, like you don't go to the circus to see the ringleader, right? You go there to see all of the attractions. So it's very, like when it comes to that, like not really, very rarely does just one person write, but I do just kind of have this sort of improvisational style. I'll just kind of fuck around for a couple hours or so here and there until I come up with something that I kind of like. If I really like it, then it sticks in my head and I go from there with that.
All right. And how big is your discography to date?
Flummox has put out, well, let's see, 2 full-length albums, or 4 full-length albums if we're counting the non-canonical releases, we'll put it that way, and several demos and EPs, and we're about to we'll be putting out the 3rd one probably in early 2024. And that's just like with Flummox. Like I've played on random other things, like just for other people as well, just like, I don't know, the occasional session thing. But yeah, like just like through yeah, we'll call it 2.5 albums with some demos here and there.
Perfect. And then what about music videos?
Don't have as many of those, unfortunately. That will probably change with the coming stuff, but as far as it is something that I wish we did more of, but we do have a couple music videos from the last one that are both animated, and my creative partner and friend and roommate, Haven, put together a lot of the stuff, like from like pretty much one of those videos I was just like, just do whatever you want, and then the other one was like kind of had like a specific story that she had to go off of, but both of them came out great. Use of different types of animation, it was very, that kind of stuff. But we only have done, aside from that, we only done like one other music video where like we were actually playing and we used cameras and that sort of thing. But we filmed a lot of like live stuff, but it's not quite the same thing.
I just feel like when the day comes and you start putting out music videos, I'm here for it, all right? Because I can only imagine with your creative direction what kind of amazing concepts that you can come up with for some music videos. And speaking of concepts, how do you feel about concept albums?
I think if they're executed correctly, they're some of the best albums out there. But I also think they have the potential to lend themselves to you know, pretentiousness, I guess you could say, or very like you know, like overly compensating, I guess, in some way. But I mean, yeah, as far as concept album goes, like, yeah, like some of my favorite records are concept records. And like, even with some of the stuff we've done, like we've never done like a full on concept, but you know, especially with the one that we're working on now, there's definitely a lot of like conceptual continuity, a lot of like thematic elements that kind of play under the current of like the whole record, but it's not like a concept. It's not like a, you know, it's not like this album is about this one thing, you know, or this album is a story. It's just kind of like there's some themes here that kind of, you know, but I definitely, yeah, I totally vibe with that kind of stuff. Shit, like I mean, like, you know, I definitely fuck with 2112 and Dark Side of the Moon and things like that, of course.
Of course, very nice. All right, Mama Cantu coming through with the questions. She wants to know, did you stab baby dolls in your video?
Not in the music videos. But there's definitely some video out there of me stabbing the baby dolls. I did it as recently as the last show we played.
Very nice. I feel like I'm gonna have to make a reel and do some edits so everybody can see Aly getting down on stage. Because if you have not seen her perform yet, you guys are not doing yourself justice. It's a very, very fun to
And this
watch.
is the mask I wear when I'm doing it.
Oh wow.
So, you know.
Wow, that is so much fun. When is your next show when we can go and see you?
Well, actually, tomorrow, Flummox is playing. We're doing a headlining gig here in Murfreesboro, our hometown, and we haven't like done that here in a little while. Good little while. I think this is like our second show of the year, and then we're going on tour next week. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to be at the Graveyard Gallery here in Murfreesboro, and then after that we're doing Lafayette, Indiana, Chicago, Illinois at the Reclaim the Stage Festival. We're doing, let me think, see if I can list them all off. Lansing, Youngstown, Morgantown, Louisville, Knoxville, Savannah, Georgia, and Asheville, North Carolina. So those are the next few, and then we'll have more after that eventually.
That's gonna be so much fun. Who are you playing with on tour?
So a lot of different bands actually, because we're touring by ourselves, but you know, I know for instance at that festival we're playing like Sunny War, Volk is another Nashville band that's awesome. Tiger Sax, She Her Hers, The Dilators, a lot of like those kind of bands are playing. It's a femme centric festival, so all of the bands have like probably, I think it's like a majority of the people are femme or something like that. I don't know. It's like femme fronted maybe, but yeah, you know, we got thrown on that, of course. And you know, over the course of we're playing with Daikaiju. I don't know if you've ever fucked with Daikaiju, but that's another band with a stage show that like we're gonna have to up our game at that show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you hear that, Daikaiju? We're coming for you. Because they set shit on fire.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, like if anybody sees this and they've seen, you know, the Daikaiju's, they go hard. They go really hard.
Daikaiju. Okay, I'm gonna have to check them out after this interview.
Totally, and yeah, there's so many great openers happening at a lot of these shows, and then I'm sure we're gonna end up playing like some, you know, like supporter slot stuff in the future and that kind of thing. Because yeah, there's so many groups that we're playing with Sarah and the Safe Word at their album release show a little bit after the tour. So we'll be all over the place playing with whoever.
Very nice. We got my beautiful wife, Lindsay, in the house. What's up, Lindsay? Thanks for joining us tonight. All right. So, Aly of Flummox. Oh my goodness. Going on tour, dropping hits left and right. Your album should be coming out at the beginning of 2024. Do we have sort of like a name for the album already? Do you have the cover art, all that done, or is it still a work in progress?
Well, right now we just finished recording the rhythm tracks with Jason Dietz out in Twin Oak. Jason Dietz is actually the bass player for Amigo the Devil, and he's also.
I love Amigo the Devil.
They were at our last show. The whole band came out. Jason Dietz, their bass player, recorded our last one, and he's been helping us a lot. He's fucking really easy to work with, and then we're editing the drums and bass now. Gonna put together the rest of the tracks, and I'm tracking vocals. I think in May at some point, and then after that, just odds and ends, mix, master, that sort of thing. I do have a name. Not gonna say it yet.
Y'all are gonna have to wait for that.
Gotta wait for it. I'm holding on to it for now.
Right. Very, 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 very cool. You guys are hanging out with Sunny C and Aly. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, drop them there in the comment section. This is the end of Bass Week, and we went big this week, you guys. We had so much fun, had so many really great guests, and we're still going. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Make sure you guys do not drink and drive tonight if you go out. I will not be going out. I will be hanging out with my pig. Do you have any major plans for the evening, Aly?
I'm just going to chill the rest of the night. I already worked all day, Again, I was putting all the candy and the stuffed animals into the crane machines today. So,
that's what my mom was talking about, the candy earlier. Okay, now I get it, Mom.
I figured that's what it was, but I was going to answer either way.
Do you really fill the crane machines, or is this like
so? Or is it just one of the weird things that I say? Actually, no, it's true. So when I am not throwing myself into trash cans and touring in various places and making records, what I do while I'm back home is I work for a company that basically puts like your arcade machines, your claw games, your claw machines, and that stuff in like the family fun centers and the restaurants, like of the world. And I'm the person who goes in there and puts all the plush and candy and all that stuff and counts how much money they made, and then I disappear into the night.
Wow.
And it's a job.
That would be a dangerous job for me, because I would definitely be taking all of the stuffed animals. I wouldn't.
First of all, you get first pick at my job. I have that same Pikachu, Sunshine. Actually.
Oh my goshness! Did we just become best friends? Yes, we did.
Yes.
Pikachu's unite. Oh my gosh, that is so cool that is your day job. Oh my gosh, you are really living a dream. Let's talk about why bass. I know this story, but for everybody who may not know this story,
why bass?
Why bass?
Well, because everything else was taken. No, that's not true. So this is sort of true, actually, if I'm being real, but I'm glad that was the case. When I was in sixth grade, we were doing a talent show, and a bunch of my friends wanted to do the Weird Al Smells Like Nirvana song for the talent show, but nobody played bass, and I couldn't just do the vocals for some reason. So I basically borrowed a bass from the closet of my school and never gave it back. And we didn't even end up performing, but and I still have that bass somewhere around here. But yeah, like it was basically just as simple as that. Like somebody needed a bass player. I ended up with a bass, and then I didn't really start to take it seriously until I heard bands like Black Sabbath and the like, and that's really what got me into, okay, so this is like Geezer Butler and guys like Geezer Butler and Cliff Burton, and then I started paying attention to bass players and music in general, and I was like, okay, this is what I vibe on. I really like playing the same thing over and over again. Sometimes just keeping the groove, keeping in the pocket, and knowing when to throw your fills and fun stuff in there as well. But yeah, like that's basically how it started for me. And then after that, I hadn't put it down.
Very nice. Let's talk about the bass that you're playing on these days.
Lately, well, my main bass is especially for Flummox, is my Spectre 6-string Legend bass that I've had since I was probably like, I guess I just turned 16 and I'm about to be 30. So I've been playing that one forever, and that's probably the one that I'm going to play primarily on the upcoming tour. But I also have been playing a Fender jazz bass, this beautiful blue little jazz bass that I've just fallen in love with. And that one has served me quite well, and I'm actually using it on at least a couple of songs on the upcoming tour because it's in different tuning and all that, you see. So, certain songs, of course. And that's pretty much all I've really been playing lately. I'm trying to get my hands on one of these one of these Rudy Sarzo fretless acoustic basses, actually, but we'll see about that. Those things are gorgeous, but I've mainly just been playing my Fender Jazz and my Spectre lately.
All right, very nice. We're manifesting stuff here tonight. Let's see, Mama Cantu says, oh, Mama. This episode is brought to you by Tootsie Pops. How many little licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Oh, Ma.
236. That might be subjective, though.
Boom! There we go. All right, let's see. Do you have a favorite venue?
Ooh, that's a good one. So around here, I mean, it really just depends on the show. But I really like, as far as Nashville goes, I'm really, Exit In is kind of a classic here. That's, it's almost like our Whiskey A Go Go. Like, it's been around forever. Everybody and their moms fucking played at the Exit In, and I've had the pleasure of doing so a handful of times. Basement East is also a lot of fun. As far as smaller shows are concerned, I really like The End. And I have a feeling I'm really going to like Graveyard Gallery. I haven't actually played a show there, but I've been there, and I'm playing there tomorrow. So by the time by the time somebody's watching this interview in the future, I will have played the Graveyard Gallery. So that might be one of my favorites. As far as, I don't know, like, trying to think of where else. Like, I was there's a place called Art Sanctuary in Louisville that's gorgeous. Just like things like that. And there's a lot of places that I've never played before that I've always wanted to play that we're going to be playing on these upcoming tours. So
That's
it might change.
That is super, super exciting. Oh my goodness. Will you be documenting tour and providing us with lots of content to see what's going on in the background?
I'm definitely gonna try to keep a camera on, try to keep something rolling, something recording, especially, like, it's just good to have that kind of stuff anyway, just for one's own personal nostalgia. But I'm definitely gonna, like, I mean, I just had to get on TikTok with Flummox, so I'm sure I'm gonna have to put something there, before it gets banned in the country or whatever. So
in a society where we do rely so much on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, how much of your day would you say is dedicated to providing content for your fans? If any at all.
Probably too much sometimes. Frankly, but also, I mean, like, sometimes there's just the need to, like, okay, I have to, like, stay within the vision of the algorithm here, so I've got to put something online, or I'm gonna get buried by everything else. You have to think about shit like that now, and you have to think about, like, well, if I post it like this on this app, but then post it like this on that app, then it'll just shit like that. And that alone, it takes up so much brain time. I think I'm running like 5 or 6 different social media presences for my band and myself, and across platforms. So, but on one hand, like I think it is nice to be able to just kind of get right to your fans in such a way, but like, trying to find that medium of, okay, but like I actually have to be an artist, is actually tricky, because like, I mean, I even the other day I was like practicing my bass lines, and I was like, oh, maybe I should record some of this, for content. And wouldn't used to. It's not something you even really think about. And then then by the time you actually record something you like, you've spent probably more time doing that than actually practicing.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Of course, I'm one of those millennials who remembers fucking MySpace and shit, so I probably sound like all these damn kids.
Oh man, it has been tricky. I just recently joined TikTok, like you were saying, and it is weird how TikTok and the algorithm, they like certain videos presented a certain way, and then you get on Instagram and they like, I feel like TikTok, they want shorter clips, and Instagram they want kind of longer clips. I'm not really sure if that's true or not. It may just be something I'm like, I don't know, but I'm just trying to figure it out too. It's very rough. It's very rough, Aly. Oh,
it's a very strange like thing to work across, because it's ever changing. Like you have to keep up with it as it's happening, and then like kind of, I definitely use other, some of my peers as an example. I'll look at their content a little bit and be like, okay, so that's how they're doing that. And that's just kind of how it is. I think we're all kind of experimenting with some of that stuff for sure. And yeah, all of it's I just want to play bass and write songs about possums. And
last time we had an interview, we talked a lot about possums, and probably because we were talking about it so much, the computer picked up the word possum and displayed this amazing shirt that was like missing cat or found cat, right? But it's like the possum, and I bought it, and I was trying to find it so I could wear it for the interview tonight. I could not find it, and it was really pissing me off because I was so proud that I got this possum shirt.
You're gonna find it tomorrow. You're gonna find it tomorrow, and you're gonna be like, damn it. But that's just an excuse to get me on for a third time at some point. So
boom, third time's a charm, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys, we're going live and direct with Aly of Flummox. We're making this a short broadcast today, so we're going to go on for about 10 more minutes, and we're going to get out of here. So if you have any last minute questions, comments, suggestions, drop them there in the chat. Let's see. Somebody's asking about Don. So my beautiful secretary, Donovan, he's off tonight. This is actually not his full-time job. He does work at a recovery home, and he is like doing stuff at an open house or something. That's all I know. So best of luck, Don. I hope you make it back to the basement soon. I left the door open for you. All right. So do you have any endorsements?
I am endorsed by Spectre. I haven't really talked to anybody at Spectre for a while. Please put me on NAM. I live here. And I have an endorsement through them, and happily, because again, I've been playing their instruments for most of my playing span, but I would love to get some more endorsements. I certainly use Dark Glass a lot. That's the amp that I usually I have a Dark Glass Microtubes, which incredible sound, like holy shit, so good. As well as like just the Electro Harmonix pedals and those kind of things. But the only thing I have is Spectre right now, for now.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get something from Tootsie Rolls next. Who knows?
Yes. What about strings? What kind of strings are you rocking?
I was using Diodario for a while. And then like it just so happened that the place where I usually getting them for my 6-string bass just stopped selling the 6-string cut. But they had Ernie balls, so using Ernie balls lately, and frankly, I actually kind of like them a little bit better. They last a little longer, at least in my experience. But if Diodario wants to sponsor me and buy my love, I'm a cheap date.
There you go. You heard it, Diodario. Let's go. Oh my goodness. All right. So, one question I asked all of my guests, and I may have asked this last time, but we're going to go ahead and ask you again. If you could throw a dinner party for any 5 musicians, dead or alive, who would those 5 musicians be, and what would you serve at your dinner party?
Okay. Um. So yes, you did ask me this. I just don't remember exactly everyone I said. So it might be the same people. It might not be. Dead or alive though. So probably Frank Zappa, um, Geezer Butler, um, it's already 2. Um, Ronnie James Dio, uh, Haley Dahl, and Mike Patton.
Ooh, I love me some Mike Patton. All right. What are you serving at this dinner party?
I am not really super great in the kitchen. I can make a mean pot of Kraft macaroni and cheese. So I will not be doing the cooking. What I will be doing is I will probably be ordering some sort of Mediterranean assortment of food. Because I'm really into Greek food, actually. And I understand that at least 2 of the people that I mentioned are vegetarian or vegan or of some kind. So that covers that as well. I don't want to leave out my vegetarian and vegan and pescatarian friends. So that's probably where I'm gonna go with that for sure. I'll have Greek with those 5 individuals for sure.
Amazing answer, and Greek food for the win. Yes, I love me some good hummus and baba ganoush on some pita bread. Oh, and some dolmas. Those are really good too.
Yes, I had a gyro right before I got on the stream actually. So, just I'm about that tzatziki sauce. That's for sure.
You about that life, Aly? Are you about that life?
I am about that life. I would bathe in the cucumber sauce if I could. I would get it in every single crevice.
You guys are gonna have to go to her Patreon for that one. Okay, you're not gonna see it here, but go over to the Patreon page and get a whole eyeful.
The OnlyFans, actually.
Oh my gosh, you guys, we have had an amazing time tonight. Base week in full effect. I hope that you guys take one thing away from you with this interview. Wait, did I say that right? I hope you guys take one thing away from this interview. And that is that when you go to Nashville or anywhere by Nashville, you've got to go watch Flummox, stab some babies, put on some theater for you, play some amazing music, and so much more is wrapped up in that that stage show. Aly, what do you have? What's going on, in the future beyond tour and dropping an album? I mean, or is that a surprise, maybe?
Right now, as far as my career goes, as far as the foreseeable future, as far as that goes, that's pretty much all that's there. But, right now, in the state that I live in, where they're trying to more or less, legislate people like me out of existence, I'm more or less just trying to shine any sort of awareness onto that as much as possible, because there's already a law here basically stating that not just drag queens and those kind of artists, but anybody who is presenting differently than the gender that's on their birth certificate can be arrested if they are performing in a public space. So if I am playing bass fully clothed, and I'm at like a all ages show, it's illegal. I could be arrested and charged with a felony if I do it twice. So those kind of things. But that's the South for you. Um, so yeah, protect trans kids. Um, but yeah, aside from all of that, I'm gonna be on tour. That's right.
Mama Cantu says those fucking laws. All right, Mama Cantu. Well, I did not. I don't watch too much news, and I probably should watch a little bit more. But is there anything that we can do to help the legislature with these kinds of things? Is there like petitions
there's
we
a
can sign or?
there's a good source of information on what you can do. If you get on Instagram, go to, I think it's Protect Trans Healthcare TN, like Tennessee. On Instagram, they have lots of links. They basically update you on anything that's going on, because I'll put it this way. Last year, there was about 150-ish anti-LGBTQ plus laws that were that tried to be passed last year, and already in March of 2023, just 3 months into the year, we have I don't think it might be 400. It's definitely over 300, but it's been at least over 300 laws have already been proposed. So already double in an entire than what they did last year. So, but yeah, protect trans healthcare TN at Instagram. That'll give you a good insight on what's going on here and what's pretty much going on in any of the other states probably bordering here. And hey, it's not gonna stop me though. If I get arrested for playing bass, cool. Yeah, there are actually real fucking crimes to solve, Mama Cantu, and a lot of them aren't being solved, especially when this is supposedly being done with the children in mind. But Tennessee's Department of Child Services is so basically out of money and out of resources that there's children sleeping on the floors of the offices at DCS. Not to mention, you've got like failing infrastructure. You have Nazis hanging banners of swastikas on bridges in major towns. You have like some of the worst like education in the entire country. I could go on. Governor Bill Lee and his ilk are wonderful bunch.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Yeah.
I don't mean to be political too much,
No,
but
no, no.
I used to not be political until it started, being in my backyard.
I think it's very important to speak up for those that can't or choose not to speak up or can't, and the fact that you have a platform to do it and that you're willing to do it, I think that is absolutely amazing, and more people need to stand up and speak about this. And wow, I had no idea, and I'm glad that you could educate us all on that. So I'm going to do some more research into this, and we're gonna at least help out the best way that we can. I don't know how. Maybe we'll protest or some shit.
Let's do it. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aly. I'm so happy that you came back on the show. I can't wait to have you back on the show again for the third time.
You gotta have your possum shirt ready this time.
Yeah, so I can wear the possum shirt. Absolutely. I cannot wait. So last thing before we get out of here is, what advice can you give everybody listening at home, watching at home? And it doesn't necessarily have to be music related, just advice in general.
Really the best thing I could say right now is just try to give any stranger the benefit of the doubt at first. Just be kind to your fellow humans. You don't really know who's who and who's going through what. That's the best I could say really about anything right now.
Very nice. I like that very, very, very much. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Base week was a success. Woo!
That's right.
Boom! Oh my gosh, Aly. So I'm gonna ask you, Cliff Burton or Geddy Lee. I think I know the answer, but
that is a hard question, to be fair, because yeah, So as a musician, probably Geddy Lee, because he sings and he plays keyboards and he has like, all that. But however, we didn't get nearly as many years with Geddy Lee as we did with Cliff Burton over here. He's in this hand. And just in the short amount of time that Cliff was around, he was able to kind of reinvent the instrument, reinvent the wheel a little bit. And, for myself personally, I'm probably more influenced by Cliff Burton. But Geddy Lee is like here, So I'll give it. That's my final answer.
All right, very good. I'm gonna send you a Cliff Burton shirt in honor of this week. Boom! I'm so
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody. Go look up Flummox. Make sure you stream. Make sure you follow. Aly is putting out amazing content that all of you need to see. Also, get read up and educated on all the laws and figure out a way that you can help, even if it's in your community. All right, we're getting out of here, you guys. Next week, I have a lot of other people coming on the show. Of course, Dawn is not here to remind me who they are, but just stay tuned. I'm sure they're amazing, amazing guests. So, actually, is there anything else you want to talk about, Aly, before we get going?
Listen to Flummox. Protect trans kids.
Very, 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 very nice. Yes. All right, guys, you heard it. We're getting out of here. Make sure you're kind to everybody around you. You never know the battles that people are facing. Try to keep a smile on your face and stay safe out there. It's a dangerous fucking world. I'll say it one more time. Stay safe out there. It's a dangerous fucking world. Nobody drink and drive tonight. That's what Uber is for. All right, Aly, we're getting out of here on 3. We're going to say bye, okay?
All right.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Bye.